Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared. My lovely wife, Kara, is at work. And in this video, we are just going to go over 10 knives that I either have up for review or already have reviewed. So this one is the ProTech Malibu. I've carried it a couple times. Right now, I'm in the middle of testing and really reviewing other knives, so I have not done a review on this, so obviously anything can change from what I'm saying now, but this is a very solid knife and I can see why so many people loved it. Button locks are pretty popular when they are done right, and this is a button lock knife. The action is absolutely amazing. The blade shape is really good. It's just a very capable blade shape, especially for EDC. The clip works so good. ProTech's clips just work really good. It's hard not to like ProTech's clips. And there's just so many things done right. It's very simplistic and very simple. And, it makes you wonder sometimes on other brands that have such a hard time getting some things done right when you see something so simple done so well. But like I said, I haven't done any testing on it yet or anything like that. So now this next one I have reviewed, and this is more about the steel than the knife itself. The knife itself, love this knife, and this is the Artisan Sea Snake. Sorry, by Mike Emler. Now the AARP M9 or the AARPM9 steel. What was the RPM9? So the RPM9 steel. Man, I did a whole video on this stuff. Had a whole bunch of cut tests and sharpening, and I literally had an entire video all made, and I had to delete it. But I did, I do have an opinion on it, and I'm going to do a full video on the steel and maybe a couple steels mixed together to make one video. But, in my videos that I did have prepared for this, I had testing done and to kind of prove what I was talking about. I'm not going to redo it all. I'm not. So when I do the video, you're just going to take my word for it. If not, whatever. But, I'm really on the fence. And, I said this during a live that me trying to figure this steel out is like, catching a giant wet worm or something. I mean, it's weird because on some ends, I liked it. Like, I tested out the prototype of this knife and it was great. And then, this knife was okay, but it didn't compare to the prototype. And it's difficult to explain because I've dealt with the RPM9 steel now 4 different times. And I've gotten a different opinion on each one, almost as if there was different steels. Now, one had decent edge retention. I'm not going to say it was great, but it was decent. But it stropped back so good, and then it held it for a good bit too. Then, the next one, it seemed like it didn't strop as good. It still strops really good. Don't get me wrong, it still stropped really good, but not compared to the stropping ability of the other one. But it still stropped good. But the edge retention wasn't as good. It was like I wasn't getting the performance. Now, I equated that to possibly some burnt edges, yada, yada, yada. But then after sharpening it and really removing some steel, too. I'm not talking about just like a little sharpening. I really tore into it. And it didn't seem like it improved that much. Now, then I started thinking, maybe I should just save all this for the video. But then I started thinking about, sharpening it on different materials, between diamond and aluminum oxide to see if it would do any better. And so then I got my opinion on that, but I'm just going to have to do a full video on it because this video will be too long and we still have 8 more knives to get to. But all in all, I do like this knife. The steel, I think it's possibly hit or miss. I don't want to say it's great. I don't want to say it's good. And I don't want to say it's bad. I honestly, I can't really say. I can say I'm very confused. But if you have the knife, you have a great knife. I just want to say that. You have a great knife and it's a very capable knife. I don't think, like my example right here, the steel is okay, but it's not, I don't think it's to the level of performance that they claimed it as. Like, I never get D2 cutting performance out of it. Maybe it's similar to 9CR or under. But I don't know. Like I said, I'll do a complete video on that because I'm not knocking it and I don't want people to not buy that knife because of what I'm saying. I absolutely still stand by my first video on that knife. I like that knife. I still stand by what I said about that knife. Great knife. Next up, a little bit of a beast. Oh, we got the Cold Steel 4 Max. Now, I have not tested or reviewed this, but you know, I've been playing around with it and I'm going to carry it for the review. I don't know how far I'll get, but I am going to carry it. I'm going to, you know, it's not an EDC knife, so I don't even know why I would think like that. Like, why do I feel obligated to carry it when it's not an EDC knife? I have cut with it a little bit though. I cut up some cardboard with it, and I was actually pretty surprised how good it cut, considering, you know, look at that blade stock. But it's fun, man. It's fun, and I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. It's just, it's awesome, man. And it's so strong that it makes you love it. And when I look at that stop pen, it just makes me smile. It just makes me smile. I love looking at that big ass stop pen. I would love to see stop pins like that on smaller knives. But, you know, obviously overkill. This is cool. I can't wait to actually review that. Next up, I just recently unboxed this not that long ago, but I have been playing around with it quite a bit. And I think I might possibly throw some jimping on this flipper tab. You know, it flips good, but because the detent is on the lighter side, it doesn't affect it too much, but I can tell, like, it's just a little slick, you know, and I'm thinking that if I put some jimping on there, the action might just improve, like, a lot, because I don't have a problem deploying it every single time without a problem, but I can tell I'm curling my finger. That was a mistake. Curling my finger to snag it when I do it. And if I had jimping on there, I wouldn't have to worry about that. So, but it is breaking in nicely. It's a solid knife, man. This would be a great work knife for a lot of people. Great ergos. Geometry's decent. I mean, especially for a work knife. So, and it came with a pretty decent edge for a factory edge. So, next up, I have been testing this one. I'm actually almost ready for the review. I'm ready for the review technically, but there's just one more thing I have to do before I can review it because it's ready for sharpening. I've used the edge up. It's you know, because when doing a review on a knife like this that's just has such a big place in the knife community, I had to make sure, you know, I was confident in the review I was going to do about it. Now, I have sharpened one of these in the past, and I think it's a solid knife. I really do enjoy it and like it. So I've been, you know, like I said, testing it and cutting different things and testing the tip a little bit, you know, like just really testing to see like where it shines, I guess, and what type of place, because I feel like, you know, even just for a regular EDC knife, they still have a place and what they're going to shine at. What are they going to do best, right? So got the review on this one coming very soon. Now this one, I'm on the fence about. This is, oh, I'm sorry, man. This is the Chris Reeves Zun. This is the Rake P135. So this is the Alien MX4. It's a handmade. You got to remember that too. Handmade in the USA by Alien Knives. Now, the DX2 was done by Alien Knives that the concept picked up. Now, there's a few great things about this knife, but then there's a few things that make me wonder, like, if it might just need just a little bit, I don't know. You know, I don't want to speak on it yet because I don't want to change my mind on it. I haven't spent enough time messing with it yet. I haven't reviewed it yet. I've basically just sat here and opened and closed. I haven't even cut with it yet. But there's just a couple things like that I would like to see done better. A few things, actually. But, you know, it is a handmade. It's very unique. Very unique. These are made out of coffee grounds. There's also handle material made out of hemp. You can swap them. Everybody wonders if they smell like coffee. No, they do not. They smell like resin. Just like G10 or anything like that. But it is cool. Like I said, it's very unique. And I'm still on the fence about it. So I hate to knock it in this video. And I hate to talk really good about it in this video because everything could change after I start cutting with it, because I'm going to put some work on this thing. So we're going to see how much this handmade knife holds up. We'll see. Next up, this is the QSP Pelican. Now, this thing continues to impress me. It just does. The ergos are so good on it. It's just this. Put it this way, this spot right here, this little hump, is well placed. It's well placed. It just, right here in my hand is where it sits, if you see. And my finger, like if you look at other knives, you know, your pinky sometimes kind of hooks a little bit, and it's almost like a place for that. And it's so comfortable in the hand, and yeah, the action is so good. Flipping action's really good. I have a couple complaints, I do. But, yeah, we're going to get the testing done on this and get the review up pretty quick. I got to get that one done. Now, this one I have reviewed, but I wanted to talk about it for one more second because two things. One, this thing's continuing to impress me more and more. Just the more it breaks in, the longer I have it, the more solid of a knife it feels. And I gave it a good review. The worst part about it, I think, was the clip. Which the clip is still a good clip. You know, the clip is fine. It's not like it's a bad clip. It's a little bit, it's like hitting a wall going in the pocket just a little bit. You know, you can get it over, but it just kind of hits the liner or the lining of your seam of your pocket a little bit. But, and then there was a couple other things, but yeah, it feels like an expensive knife. And every time I pick it up, I enjoy that feeling of it. The feeling of just like, yeah, this knife is definitely refined. You know, from the crown spine to just the texture of the lock bar, the smoothness. Now, I did notice that I'm starting to get in. This could be my fault. Maybe I'm not thinking of using it, but I'm noticing a little bit of edge damage right in here that I didn't notice before. And I don't remember really testing it too much after my testing. You know, like I reviewed it, and after the review's done, I went to another knife, and I don't remember getting edge damage on there after sharpening it, but it could be my fault. But I'm almost wondering if it had fatigued steel, or if maybe the edge retention isn't as good as I thought. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. It's possibly all my fault. I might have used it and cut something on some ceramic or something. I don't know. I hate doing that. I hate talking like that because then I got people like, oh no, don't buy that because of this reason. I'm saying it's most likely my fault. So, but 15 minutes in. Okay, let's get to these next ones. The Praxis. Is that what it is? Praxis? Man, this knife, solid knife. This thing, I like it. I like it. I do have some complaints. I do have a few complaints, but this one, pretty damn cool. Great knife. Great EDC knife. Great action. Very snappy. You hear that? Liner's easy to get to. The geometry is really nice. Great blade shape. Just an all-around good knife. This thing screams knife, and it does it well. Very, very well. Great knife. All right, so now this last one, I am testing. Having fun testing it. And falling in love with it. I'll be honest, I am. I'm falling head over heels for it. Never thought I would have, but I am. It just doesn't have, this is where I always like fell back on it, is it doesn't have the look that I think of in my head when I say, you know, great knife. But in practice, great knife. So smooth. It locks up so solid. It's just a good knife, man. Great size, great everything. The geometry is even pretty decent on it. It cuts really good. Yeah, just a good knife, man. Like the knife a lot. I can see why people love it so much. The stop pin's nice and big. Action's amazing. Yeah, loving it, loving it, loving it. All right, there you guys go. I love you guys. Peace.